So somebody had some questions about the PackTenna 10-meter mast. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, Tim here, GraymanPOTA, amateur radio call sign November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. So I was checking my email today and I saw a message from Groups.io from the PackTenna page, and there was a person that was asking some questions about the mast. So I thought I'd go ahead and just answer those here in this video. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to show it, but they had some questions about the PackTenna mast, and some of them were just basic questions, more like, what's the length? What's the outer diameter? What's some of the diameter, inner diameter, stuff like that. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and just address those questions real quick, and then kind of show how I use it out here in POTA activation. For a lot of you that may or may not follow my channel normally, I do a lot of outdoor POTA activations, and the PackTenna 10-meter mast, along with the PackTenna 2040 end-fed half-wave, are my go-to antennas. Now I do a lot of testing and other things like that, but if I need a go-to antenna where I want to get in, make that activation, I know it's going to work, this is what I always go to. So one of the questions I get is, how do you use this thing? One way is with the drive-on mast stand, and this is a fairly inexpensive one I got off of Amazon. It's a flagpole mast. I'm not sure what the inner diameter of this, but it does fit the 10-meter mast without any issues. There's a little bit of wiggle in there, and that's fine. You're going to want that anyways. But when this thing is, when the Bronco is sitting on top of it, or in any vehicle for that fact, brick, whatever, this is a solid solution for supporting that. So that's one way I do it. The other way that I do it is I will tie off my antenna somewhere, and I will go find a tree to lean the mast up against, and I'll demonstrate that here when I'm actually deploying my antenna. As far as the length on this thing, from tip to toe, we are at about 26.5 inches. So a little over 2 feet long. Now I can travel with this, and one of the things, I travel a lot for work, and I like to take radio gear with me. Now this is one that cannot fit on my carry-on bag, but I can put it in my regular checked luggage. So 6 one, half a dozen in the other. Sometimes I check my carry-on bag, so it doesn't necessarily matter. It just depends on how much radio gear I have with me and whether or not I want that bouncing around through checked luggage or not. But this would not bother me if it was just tucked in my regular suitcase. And go that route. One modification that I did was some paracord right here on the lid, and some shrink wrap or shrink tubing to hold that. That way the lid drops to the side and doesn't go away. Nothing too complicated. Just basically a washer or a nut in this case, with a stopper knot on the end of it, and that'll prevent that from coming through. As I said, this is 10 meters. One thing that does not come on the mast from George when you buy it is a tip. I'm not sure why, but it's not a big deal. There are several different options that people have come up with, and they tend to share those in that Groups.io page. The one I have found that I really like, and it's fairly inexpensive, is this tip here. Adam K6ARK has a printables page up that has the file in there for this, and I will put a link to that down below. He has a couple different sizes in there, so you don't have to adjust them. Just know what the outer diameter is of this top section, and select the right one, and you just print it at normal. For the outer diameter of the top section, and I'm going to give this in millimeters, is 3.76, so essentially a 4 millimeter top section. And that top section is, without the cap on, fully extended, is roughly 22.5 inches. Fair amount of thickness to it. I mean, you're going to bend it over. If you put something heavy up on the end, you're going to see some flex in there. But it is not bad. I've never had it in a situation where I've been concerned that it's going to blow over or break because of the wind. But generally, if the weather's that bad, I'm getting out of there anyways. Next section down is basically 6.15 millimeters, and it just goes from there. So as you can see, it is fully nesting. Even with this tip on there, it sits down low enough, just comes over the top of it, that this will fit in there. As far as the outer dimensions of the antenna itself, we said it was roughly 26 inches long. From the top cap is just a hair over 50 millimeters, and where I think it's probably just a little bit bigger is going to be this outer edge of the bottom cap here, and that's 55 millimeters. This cap does unscrew from the bottom, and everything is accessible from the bottom, so you can do maintenance if you need to. So not a problem in that respect. All right, so hopefully that answered the question with the dimensions. Real quick, I'm going to deploy the antenna. Today I'm using the PackTenna 2040 end-fed half-wave. So the transformer portion of it here has the 20-meter segment. There is a link, so it's essentially a linked end-fed half-wave, and then I've got the rest of it to make up the 40-meter end-fed half-wave. Generally, with that being said, this is almost a no tuner required antenna, which is awesome. So you'll get 40, 20, 15, and 10 without any issues, no tuner needed. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take this mast and we're going to run it out that way off camera. I'll swing the camera around so you can see it, to lean it up against the tree, and then I'm going to tie the transformer off on this end here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now I've configured this antenna in a couple different manners. Today I'm doing a straight sloping 40 meter. I've done it as kind of a sloping inverted L, where I've taken two masts, and one a little bit shorter than the other, where I'll slope from the transformer to the split between the 20 and the 40 meter segment, and then I'll do essentially a flat top type between the two masts. The other one is kind of a straight inverted L, where I'll put the transformer at the bottom of the 10 meter mast, run it straight up, and then when it gets to the top of the 10 meter mast, then go across over to another 10 meter mast. So these antennas are super light, and I'm just taking some paracord here and just wrapping a couple loops around the table, and that works fine. There's a set of banana clips that you use to link the two sections together, and there's an S-beaner plastic clip there that you've got two loops that you can tie these two together to provide it strength, and you're not trying to rely on the banana clip to hold those two together. Okay, so we've got our wire fully deployed now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this straight up, and I'm going to come in and lean it in towards the tree. But what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to take the wire up over this cluster of leaves here and branches. I'm going to take it up over that, and I'm going to kind of just fish it in and lean it in there in a Y in between the branches, and then have it lean back up against the trunk of the tree. So as I bring this up, I'm just doing little extend and twist just to give it some friction between the segments so it'll hold it there. All right, so that's fully extended at 10 meters. And so I'm just going to bring it in here, kind of set it in, and rest it in there. So out here, I mean, obviously, I'm in a camping area. There's no kids around, dogs. There is a raccoon here somewhere. We'll find him. I'll make sure he takes his technician's exam. Yeah, this is the setup, and this is the way it goes. I don't know if you can see up there is a slight bend coming back up there, which is keeping tension on the line. So it's workable. And from here at 40 meter, with the 40 meter antenna fully deployed, I don't have a problem. I make contacts all over the country doing POTA activations, and obviously it's a little bit later, so 40 is going to be shorter. But you know, it works great even in an invis type scenario. So hopefully this answered your questions on the PackTenna mast. If you've got any more, please put those down in the comment section below. If you liked this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until we have an opportunity to meet on the air, I have a video right over here that I think you might be interested in.